The key to having the life of your dream is not what you think, is not luck, talent, or even hard work, but in mastering and harnessing the power of your emotion. Emotional intelligence is a term we hear thrown around a lot these days, but what does it mean? Emotional intelligence is not controlling or suppressing your emotion, it's understanding them, managing them, and using them to your advantage. When you master your emotions, you master everything. But how do we do that? Today, I will show you how two people, both facing the same situation, responded in completely different ways, and how mastery over their emotions set them up on two entirely different paths. Let's do this. Meet Tony. Tony was raised with the belief that life is a battlefield. His father was a tough man. He taught him to be strong, to hide his feelings, and to never show weakness. So Tony grew up with a single belief: emotions make you vulnerable. If you want to survive, you must push them down. Fast forward to his adult life. He works as a corporate executive in a high-pressure job. And every day is the same thing: meetings, deadlines, and decisions. The stakes are high, and so is the pressure. One day, he's in the middle of a major deal. Everything's going smoothly until a last-minute complication arises. The client starts questioning everything. And you know what? Tony feels his stomach tightening. His jaw clenches. But how does he do that? Or what does he do? He fights back. He pushes anxiety down and tells himself to stay focused. But here's the thing, those emotions don't just disappear. They build up, bubbling under the surface. And then, in the middle of the meeting, it happens. He snaps. He lashes out to his client, shouting, blaming, and pointing fingers. The deal falls apart, and Tony is left wondering, what just happened? Did I just lose control? You see, Tony never learned how to listen to his emotion. Instead of understanding why he felt anxious, he ignored it, pushed it down until it exploded at the worst possible moment. And now let's meet Jessica. Jessica's upbringing was a bit different. Her parents were spiritual leaders, and they taught her the importance of understanding her feelings. Your emotions are like the wind. You can't stop them from blowing, but you can adjust your sail. Jessica took that lesson to heart. She learned early on that emotions aren't a sign of weakness. They are signals guiding you, telling you something about yourself and the world around you. Years later, Jessica finds herself in a similar position to Tony. She's in the middle of a negotiation, negotiating big contract for her company. Everything seems fine until suddenly the client throws in an unexpected demand. Jessica feels the same tension arising in her chest, the same anxiety bubbling up. But instead of ignoring it, she pauses, she breathes, she notices the feeling of anxiety, and instead of pushing it away, she asks herself, why am I feeling this? What is this trying to tell me? Jessica realizes that anxiety is coming from a place of fear. Fear that the deal might fall through, or fear that her company's reputation is on the line. But instead of letting that fear control her, she uses it as fuel. She speaks calmly, she asks questions, she listens to the client's concern. Slowly but surely, she turns the conversation around and the deal goes through. You see, Jessica didn't try to control her emotions by force. She mastered them by understanding them, by listening to the message they're trying to send. Notice that both Tony and Jessica faced the same kind of pressure. Both felt the same emotion, anxiety, fear, but the way they responded to these emotions couldn't be more different. Tony pushed his feelings away, hoping they'd just disappear, but for Jessica, she embraced them. She used them for her advantage. And that's the difference. Emotional intelligence is not about controlling your emotion, it's about mastering them through understanding. Emotions are data, they are information, and when you listen to them, you can use that information to make better decisions. Now, what does it actually mean to master your emotion? Emotional mastery is about three things: awareness, understanding, and regulation. First is awareness. You can't manage what you don't notice. Being aware of your emotions is the foundation of emotional intelligence. When you feel anxious, angry, or even excited, stop and recognize that emotion. Name it. Just acknowledging that it is there can give you a sense of control. Second, understanding. Emotions aren't random, they are signals like alarm going off in your mind. If you feel angry, ask yourself why. What triggered that emotion? What's the story you're telling yourself that's creating that feeling? And the next is regulation. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotion, it means learning how to respond to them in ways that's productive. Breathing exercise, reframing the situation, or simply taking a break can help you manage strong emotions without being overwhelmed. And now let's get practical. How can you start mastering your emotions right away? Practice self-awareness. Throughout the day, make it a habit to check in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling right now and why? Keep a journal if it helps. Writing down your emotions can reveal patterns over time. Question your emotions. When you feel a strong emotion, don't just react. Pause. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? Is this the full picture, or is my mind exaggerating the reality? Often, our emotions are based on half-truths or assumptions. Develop emotional regulation strategies. Deep breathing, mindfulness, and positive visualizations are all powerful tools. The next time you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath, focus on your body, and notice the tension slowly melts away. Seek out new perspectives. Talk to people who see the world differently. Listen to their experience. The more perspective you expose yourself to, the more flexible your emotional response will become. Remember, emotions are part of being human. You can't stop them from happening, but you can learn to work with them, not against them. Emotional mastery is about creating space between feeling and reacting. And when you create that space, you open doors to better decisions, stronger relationships, and a more fulfilling life. Check out the video titled The 4 Enemies of the Mind, where I discuss the 4 active enemies of your mind so you can be aware of them and take advantage of that. If this video resonated with you and you are ready to start mastering your emotion, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and join me for more insight on emotional intelligence and personal growth. Together we can turn these ideas into powerful tools that transform our lives and your life as well. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself and make change happen.